It's an interesting situation. Both Senator Gibbons and I obviously have been debating in one sense or another for the last 4 years on the Missouri Senate floor. We are friends and colleagues despite our party differences. In any political campaign, I think that a political campaign is all about a long-term and sometimes expensive job interview. And so like any job interview, I think it's probably fitting to begin with a resume. My name is Koster. I'm 44 years old. I have a law degree from this institution here. I'm very proud of that fact, and an undergraduate degree from the University of Missouri as well. I also have a master's in business administration from Washington University. For 2 years, I was the Assistant Attorney General for the state of Missouri. Then I served for 10 years as prosecuting attorney of Cass County. And over the past 4 years, I've served as an active member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. I've prosecuted approximately 20 homicide cases in my time. 2 Supreme Court victories, and thousands of criminal prosecutions, felony prosecutions in the criminal courts of this state. Presently, I work for a law firm in Kansas City called Dollar, Becker & Burns, which is a well-known trial firm in downtown Kansas City. Over the past 4 years, I have sponsored or passed more than 30 advancements to the civil and criminal laws of this state. The Missouri Bar Association has given me their Outstanding Legislator Award 3 out of the last 3 years. Missouri Lawyers Weekly has called me one of the 10 most influential attorneys in this state due to my work on the Senate Judiciary Committee. I believe that if you want to serve as the top law enforcement officer of the state of Missouri, that it's helpful if you know something about law enforcement. I've been out of school for 16 years. I've carried a badge for 12 of those 16 years. I'm the only candidate in this race who has walked the homicide crime scenes, overseen the forensic investigations, interrogated the killers, trained the young lawyers, and made the closing arguments from our rural courtrooms all the way to our Supreme Court, or frankly cared for the victims of brutal crimes that have occurred throughout western Missouri. In the Senate, I have stood against the most powerful interests in this state when standing up against the powerful was the right thing to do. I've stood against big insurance companies when they asked for special privileges in the courtrooms of this state, privileges not afforded any other Missouri citizens. I've stood against big utility companies when they took their monopoly profits to reward their investors rather than to reinvest in the infrastructure that keeps Missouri moving. I've stood against unscrupulous employers when they turned their head the other way to hire undocumented workers in our state, pushing Missouri workers out of the workforce. And I've stood up against unscrupulous Medicaid providers who have stolen an estimated $600 million a year out of Missouri's Medicaid system. In 2007, I left the Republican Party because I believed that the Republican Party had fallen too far into the pockets of the powerful and was no longer able to resist the pull of the far right. I'm proud of the decision I made. And in tough economic times, I think that what Missouri deserves is an Attorney General with a 15-year record of independence, standing up against the party system, and standing up for Missouri's working families.
Thank you, Senator Gibbons.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity on this day where we recognize and acknowledge and honor the victims of September 11th. We have a similar thing in the city of Kirkwood, where I'm from. Our mayor passed away on Saturday, and I just want to tell you, David, the Missouri Press Association, Senator Koster, and all of you, I appreciate very much the willingness to move this forward an hour so I'd have an opportunity to get back for the memorial service today at 4 o'clock. I'm running for Attorney General because I believe all the people in Missouri deserve to be safe and secure in their homes, in their communities, in their towns, their farms, and that we can do a better job. I think that when you're looking at an Attorney General, you want to find somebody who's going to be focused on justice. I think that's the essential underpinning of the office. Focused on justice, not headlines. To be focused on representing the people and put people first, not politics. To represent and protect the people of Missouri, not focus on the special interests. We need an Attorney General who understands that all people stand equal before the law. That we have an Attorney General who believes in and supports the rule of law, not the rule of the powerful. that understands that the legislative process, when laws are passed in this state, that's how we show the expressed will of the people of Missouri. And so when asked to defend the expressed will of the people of Missouri, that is an almost sacred obligation and duty of the Attorney General's office to be done aggressively and be a strong and zealous advocate for the people's will. That's how we defend the will of the people. That's how we enforce the laws that have been passed to express the will of the people. And that's how we protect those that we love. I am a son, a husband, and a father. And I'm concerned about the safety and protecting my family. As Attorney General, I'll be concerned and work as hard as I can to protect the safety of all families and all people in this great state. And I think we can do some things better. We are constantly faced today with a proliferation of internet crimes, where people are using the internet as a weapon, whether it is sexual predators or financial crimes, identity theft, where this wonderful tool of the 21st century is turned on us and used as a weapon. We can do better. I want to have a cybercrimes task force in the Attorney General's office to aggressively assist local law enforcement and local prosecutors and the regional cybercrimes task forces we have in this state to effectively go after those people and those perpetrators and make sure that the strong laws that we have passed in this state are effectively enforced. We still have a huge problem in Missouri with methamphetamine labs. The first 4 months of this year, according to the Department of Justice, there were 1,905 meth lab incidents in the entire United States. Over 500 of those were right here in Missouri. The state second to us was Kentucky with 138. We have a serious methamphetamine problem in this state. It is going to become worse because the government of Mexico is cracking down on the production and importation of ephedrine and pseudoephedrine, which law enforcement is concerned that that's going to drive a lot more meth labs into this state. Now, the Attorney General's office, to be an effective aid to local law enforcement and to be an effective communicator to the people of this state and to our children to make sure that they understand the serious and dangerous consequences of messing around with this array of chemicals. We can do a better job in this state of making sure that the crime victims in Missouri feel safe and secure to come forward and seek justice. In this state, between sexual assaults, rape, domestic violence, tend to be very underreported crimes because oftentimes the alleged perpetrator is someone close to the victim. We have passed a law that I sponsored, to protect those victims, to make sure that their confidences at rape crisis centers were kept confident, that law enforcement would not start off an investigation with a lie detector test of the victim, that the victim wouldn't have to pay for their own rape kit. And that's important. It's something in the Attorney General's office that I want to really enhance and emphasize, because anybody who's victimized by a crime needs to feel safe and secure that coming forward is in fact a safe and secure thing to do so that in fact we can find justice. Finally, I want to focus this office on integrity and openness. One of the things that I will not do, I am not going to accept campaign contributions or solicit contributions from anybody our office would be investigating or prosecuting. That practice needs to end, and I intend to end it. We also want to be open, and open when we have to go out and hire private attorneys in those rare instances, and we'll do a better job. Open and honest government. Thank you very much.